down this way in a while. I know that it's got new lights and stuff down here.
There's no place in Kansas like that.
No. Nope, nothing like that. And that's why they built the road this way, because
didn't have any choice.
Yep. Too much rock there to move out of the way.
So the way the water runs is where you build the roads.
Yep.
Hamlet trails.
And remember when you come down this way and there's maybe 2 cars on this road? Maybe 2 cars. And the shopping center's never had this many cars in it. Never. Completely changed. I mean, this is busier than shit. This is crazy.
There's a whole new building. I mean, there used to be just Perrinville. This was right here. They built these newer ones, each one of them. Perrinville, that's all there was.
Yeah, when we first got here, that's all there was. And then they built a couple over here. But they were mostly empty all the time. Mm-hmm. Like this one is here.
Well, I applied for a job with a company that made leather.
I applied for a job there too. I can't remember what it was for.
Anyways, again, after playing a piano and then the glass place, I didn't want to use my skills to do just industrial work.
Yep.
I had actual craft skills. End up working in an industrial place and wasting those skills. Oh well.
Yep. Well, you do what you can when you have to. And that was the job that was in your face.
What paid and what had insurance.
Yep. That's the house where we got the...
Okay.
Yep.
It's interesting because a lot of the inexpensive guitars that were made in America weren't very good. The K was actually halfway in between the Harmony and the Gibson, per se.
Yeah.
They're actually, if you took them to a good repairman or a good guy, they could get them play really good.
A good luthier, yeah.
Yeah. The problem is we didn't have good luthiers all in every city until the 1970s, 1980s. Most of the time it was violin guys, and they'd scoff at you for having a guitar to begin with.
Yeah.
You can't play in an orchestra, you're not in tune. Most rock and roll guys are like, what?
Who cares about being in tune?
Who cares about playing in an orchestra?
Play louder.
Rock and roll guitar players are a lot like American tourists. They believe that if they can do it slowly or fast enough, loud enough, the people will understand.
Yep.
How do you get a rock guitar player to stop playing so loud much? Give them a piece of sheet music.
It's just like when they're talking to Pink Floyd about, after he does that, they do that. I think it's
yesterday was Roger Waters'
set the controls. Yeah, set the control. I think is what it was. And the guy says, "Why does it have to be awfully loud?" Because we like it awfully loud.
Well, it isn't really that loud. It really wasn't that loud.
Well, it was to them though. And it's just the thing is that people don't understand. You create with what you've been given, and they were born in a world where things were blowing up all the time and exploding and
threatening nuclear war,
and then industry building, constant noise, you know. So that's what So you're born with that. That's what you hear all the time. Your music has to be above that. That's why it's louder. You're competing with all the fucking noises around you. You're not competing with fucking trees and fucking birds like mom and dad were. It's such a totally different world.
Well, in 100 years, which isn't that long.
No, it's not.
The entire world is a different place. It's only when you get to the most remote places, and even on this continent, there are some very remote places, but only in those most remote places is anything untouched.
In 8 years, it'll be 100 years for Dad. So. Did I miss the turn? I didn't. The same.
Stoplight. We just went past it.
Okay, yeah. This old school here.
Middle school. Or elementary. It's the elementary. Beverly. A lot of stuff named after Beverly.
Gosh, I'm glad you're not turning.
Gigi lived down that way.
Mm-hmm.
They redid the street, but it used to be like a roller coaster.
Yeah, I remember
They redid it. When they redid it,
it was very rural. This whole area was rural.
If you were off of 99 there, it was rural. Hardly any cars, even no matter what time of day. Rush hour would be some cars.
So what are you doing?
So this person just doesn't believe they should stop.
Why didn't you just go ahead and go once you were that far? Jesus Christ. Once you're that far into the intersection, just run it, man. I've eaten pizza there, but it wasn't Avanti pizza. It was some other cheesy pizza thing. Like Pizza Haven, but worse.
I remember particularly riding the bus to Alderwood Mall. I wanted to go to when I first moved here, I went to Band-Aid. And because I'd gone there when I was on vacation. But that's where I went, and when I was here on vacation, the guy I talked to knew all about Howard Roberts, and so when I went there, and the guys are standing with big old rock hairdo type things, they're like, "Who's Howard Roberts?"
Yeah.
And I had to like, "What do you mean, who's Howard Roberts?" They're like, I don't know who Howard. Well, first of all, he lives here in Edmonds, but he started the only real true guitar school at the time.
Yeah.
Half of our famous guitar players have gone there now. It's been open since the mid-'70s. What's wrong with you people? I'm like, that's when I also discovered how many people didn't like read Guitar Player magazine or even keep up with it.
It was before I left Wichita that I noticed that I talked about it all the time, about the fact that you go to fucking Music Land and ask them something that, I don't know, it might be there. You never heard of Chicago? No, I've never heard of Chicago. What?
Never heard of Chicago.
How in the fuck? What the hell?
One of the biggest bands in the world.
Through your life. What are you doing working in a music store? You go to Radio Shack. I don't know anything about electronics. Well, you shouldn't be working here.
Well, that's the thing. At EM Shorts, they hired 3 guys in a row that didn't play music to work at a guitar shop.
They're salesmen. We're looking for salesmen, not looking for musicians.
This is a place that specifically sells something that the people need to know about. And they can't just be an aficionado.
Well, that'd be fine too if they at least were that.
If they know what they're...
People working at Music Land and working at Radio Shack at that point weren't working there because they liked music or because they liked electronics at all. It's because they were getting paid $5.35 an hour to do it. That's all it was.
So a lot of people who work at restaurants that don't like to cook.
Just like Michelle working at Spencer's Gifts. You know, it was a job. It wasn't because she wanted to work at Spencer's Gifts. Not because she wanted to work with novelties. So I understand that. So, you know, if you're going to be that kind of person, that's where you should work, as Spencer's Gifts or a janitor type job. That would make all the sense in the world. If you don't care what you're doing some kind of a labor job or something like that. But at a music store, you would think you would have musicians working. At an electronics store, you would think you would have people that have some concern about electronics. It's like a shoe
just
store.
Work at a bookstore, I can imagine people not being interested in.
Yeah, I don't really read. What?
But if
Why
it's
are
the
you
person
here?
who owns a bookstore, then you expect them to be into books.
Yep.
At the same time, you go into a bookstore and you say, I was looking for something. And years ago, they would either direct you or tell you, I don't know anything about that now. Or, but they say, you know what? I do know someone who's into that.
Yeah.
But anymore, somebody, they're standing behind a cashier.
Well, clerking became a profession rather than just a job. It's like sales is a profession. It just doesn't make any sense to me at all.
Well, certain places
all
you
this
need
looks so different.
professional salesman, like a car salesman. I expect that to be a professional person.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't expect a professional salesman at the grocery store.
No. Step right up. Let me show you the brand new cans of corn we have. No, I don't want to see that. It's not. I mean, it all looks like it's grown up. It doesn't look like it's, you know.
Doesn't look like it just got.
It looks
All
like
of these newer trees right here do make this look old, newer right there.
I mean, it kind of looks like the same area, but it's grown up. It's matured. The area, the buildings are big. You know, there's a few more of them there. They've grown up a little bit. But like here, this looks ridiculous. When we moved here, this many cars wouldn't be in this area all day long.
Yeah, but it's the
Let alone
speedway.
sitting at one fucking
The
stoplight.
speedway could be a nightmare for hours.
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. But nothing like this.
Well, now the speedway's easy to get up and down. They fixed it. God, before they fixed it, it was a nightmare.
I'm almost supposed to take the speedway, but I've taken that off enough times. Look at that.
Yeah. Oh, giant jungle gym?
What the hell? I'll have to go check that out. Whoa, dude. Definitely gonna have to go check that out. That is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Is this the entrance to it up here, I wonder?
The entrance is over there.
Well, I know, but this is kind of look like it might be also. Because the fence stops right there. Kind of got a little creek there, so it was not here.
Okay, so I noticed that just now.
Why would somebody leave their tool chest right there? That's... Are they working on it?
Yeah. I think.
Okay, we're gonna have to go look.
I know one